Okay, so here we are in Bathurst at the 60th anniversary of the E-type, and I'm interviewing a gentleman here by the name of
Wesley Jones.
And Wesley, what sort of E-type have you brought here today?
I bought a 3 Series built in March 1973 in green sand. It was originally sold through the showrooms in Brighton in the UK. I'm the 9th owner, and I contained it out about 10 years ago.
Right.
I've had it for about 10 years.
So Wesley, tell me what sort of things you've actually had to do with your car.
Okay, I've had the IRS dropped recently to have the inner back brakes done. All the bushes rear and front have done. All the brakes have been done recently. A lot of the other work I've just done myself, but it's working very, very well now.
And there's an easy car to work on.
If I had a hoist and put it in the garage, it'd be a lot easier.
Fair enough. Please tell me your name, sir.
My name's Bryce.
And where are you from, Bryce?
I'm from Sydney, Northern Beaches.
Right. And what sort of E-type do you have?
So I've got the silver blue 4.2 Series 1 convertible over there.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you had the car?
Just a bit over 10 years.
And I believe it's got a bit of an interesting history, is that right?
Yeah, it was sold new in the US, so it's a left-hand drive car. I was able to track down the second owner of the car. So the first owner didn't own it very long. The second owner bought it when it was 3 or 4 years old. He just graduated law school in Washington, DC. So he bought the car. He drove it back to San Francisco across country. Apparently he hit its top speed on his way back there. And then he just used it as his everyday car throughout the 80s. It used to park out on the street in San Francisco. It got stolen once. And so the criminal took the car, drove around in it, and he thought he was never going to get it back till he saw it driving around San Francisco one day. So he told all his friends to look out for his car because he couldn't keep up with it in the Chevy rental car that they'd given him. And sure enough, someone saw it parked on the street. So he went and stole it back, and then he found the criminal had left his address book in the car with his mum's address, his mum's phone number, all this stuff. So his shoes, his clothes. So he gave the address book to the cops. The cops went and got this guy, but he'd only been released from jail 3 days before he stole the car for car theft. And the other story he told me was that he had a bit too much to drink one night, and he was going the back way home, and he managed to crash the car into a horse. The horse went over the bonnet into the cabin. The bonnet was completely destroyed. This is probably mid-80s by then, so the car really wasn't just an old sports car. It wasn't worth much money. So he got a second-hand bonnet from a sort of dodgy gentleman who just brought the bonnet, paid cash, no questions asked, from a 3.8. And that guy was shot dead in a drug deal a few years later. He saw him on the news, the one who sold him the bonnet. It was painted dark red for a while. It's back in its original colour, but it was painted dark red for a while. I bought it, had it shipped over to where I was, had it in Michigan for about 2 years, and then when I moved back here, the car came with me.
Well, what a great story, and thanks very much for telling us your tale.
No worries, thanks.
Okay, here we are at the 60th anniversary of the E-type, and we have Norman Johnson. How are you, Norman?
I'm good, thanks, Jeff.
And what have you brought here today?
I've got a 3.8 E-type.
Yes.
I've had it for a long time. I bought it many years ago, probably about 1983.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it in the trading post, and I'd done the deal at the Bull and Bush Hotel car park.
Ooh,
Yeah.
a dodgy deal in a hotel car park, eh?
No, it wasn't quite dodgy. I believe the bloke was going through a divorce and obviously wanted to, unload the car.
I see.
My brother and myself have a couple of shipping container depots, so it was housed in a container at our depot down in Rose Hill,
Yeah.
Camellia,
Mm-hmm.
for quite a number of years, and I ended up starting to work on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, is this a coupe or a roadster?
Sorry, it's a coupe.
Okay.
Yeah.
And have you had to do a lot of work to it? Sounds like if it was stored for a while, you might have.
Yes. I stripped it down, took every nut and bolt off the car, and then it went to Steve Sewell's Ready Strip, where the paint was completely stripped off it, and then it went up to Gavin King at Tuggerah.
So how long has it been back on the road?
It's been back on the road since about 2012, 13.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And has it been good to you? Has it been reliable?
I'd rather not go there.
It's a Jaguar, right? Fair enough. Okay.
A few Welsh plug issues, unfortunately.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, they can be rather troublesome.
Yes.
Other than that, it's been okay.
Yeah, great car. Yeah.
Right. Terrific. Well, thanks very much for that.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for interviewing.
And here we are at the 60th anniversary of the E-type, and I'm talking to Kerry Benson. Hello, Kerry.
Hi, great day for us.
Yes, Kerry. Now, you're telling me that you were at the 30th anniversary.
Yeah, but I can't remember where it was.
That's okay. And what sort of car have you got?
I have a Series 1.5 E-type drop-head coupe,
Right.
purchased in London back in 1974.
Wow, that's a long time ago. How did it get to Australia?
By ship with some other goods and chattels, and in those days you could import them if you'd owned them for 15 months duty-free.
Oh, yes, I remember that. So you're originally an English citizen?
No, Australian, working in London for a while,
Okay, right.
and 120,000 miles now, and bought it at 27,000.
So you think you probably know all there is to know about that particular car?
Every nut and bolt, clutch, diff, you name it, we've had it out and put it back in again.
And what's it like now? It's in pretty good shape?
No, it's degraded as a 1967 car would be. It's not been restored.
Right.
It's a survivor.
Mhm.
Mechanically, it's been updated and fixed all the way, but the bodywork's showing signs. It's still 1970 paint on there, and there's a few scratches on the bonnet where I've misjudged the parking spaces in the garage.
But you're still enjoying it, obviously.
Oh yeah, I can drive it with good paint or with crook paint.
Fair enough. And have you got any other Jaguars?
No.
No? One's enough.
No, I have a 1925 Sunbeam, a big old British limousine,
Right, okay.
and the two of those keeps me busy.
Would that be a big straight 6, would it?
It is a big straight 6, 3.186 litres, I think.
Are they an overhead cam engine?
No, overhead valves was the big advance of the day, and it was made at the factory in London, and has still only got 54,000 miles on the clock from new.
Wow, terrific.
So between that and the E-type, it keeps me busy enough looking after them.
And poor, no doubt, as well.
Strangely, no. The E-type's not bad for parts.
Oh, right, that's good.
I bought some new tail lights for them, and they were like about $200 a set, and a Commodore would have cost more.
Yeah, fair enough too.
So no, E-type parts are not bad. If you go to SNG Barrett in Northbridge, or you go to Moss Motors now, what was XKS in the US, they've got everything you want, and it's delivered within a week.
Fair enough. Well, thank you very much for telling us about your car, Kerry.
You're welcome, Jeff.
Thank you.
Enjoy the day. Thank you.